Hi everybody, this is Frilioth and welcome back to a brand new series on the Frilcraft server. This is season 2 and I'm dead excited to be back in the Frill Cave. It's fantastic, it looks brilliant and I've missed it, I really have. But it's been quite a while since I was last here. I think the last episode we recorded in the Frill Cave was back in August 2016. I think we were rocking 1.8 then. We started a season 1 on 1.7 and updated halfway through and made a complete pig's ear of it and messed up the nether and everything. If you've not seen that, it's quite funny. Well, it wasn't for me at the time. But anyway, we're now in 1.12, very close to the 1.13. So that snapshot, I'm not sure I'll be updating to that snapshot anytime soon. But certainly when a stable version of 1.13 comes out, we'll upgrade to that. But to start with, I think a lot of you probably have never had a look around the Frill Cave. So that's what I'll do on this first episode. I'll show you around. I'll show you where I live. So if we start by going up outside, start at the top. It's dark, it's always raining on here. Always rain. Oh my word. Maybe we won't start outside. We will, I'm only joking. There's only a few skellies and a few spiders. What are they? They're nothing. Oh, and a cow. Cow bought it. Lovely. Right, so this is my iron farm. This was built by Toomsy. I built the iron farm, which is a bog standard 2-floor iron farm. And I asked Toomsy to put a bit of a skin around the outside of it. And he doesn't do things by halves. So this is what he came up with. Oh my god, I shouldn't have done this at night, should I? Oh, come on, the last one. Last one, I'm not playing with you anymore. I've got things to do. So this is what he came up with, and it's pretty spectacular, really. I mean, it reminds me of Where Eagles Dare. It's the castle on the hill. On the hill. On the hill, even. Hello, boy. So this is the iron farm. Bog standard iron farm design. It's my old iron farm design, not the new one. So we've got all the villages over here. And now what I know about village farms and iron farms and everything, I don't know. Don't know whether those guys have actually got those doors over there in range. So maybe I've reduced the efficiency of this farm because I think one of them should be at least over the other side. Maybe I'll do that. That's one of the projects to sort out. But you live and learn, don't you? I mean, back in the day, back in August 2016, I didn't know what I know now. So that's the iron farm, and all of the goodies fall down that chute. All the golems fall down there through the lava, land in my base, which we'll have a look at in a second. This is my ice cube. Which is a cube of ice. It's not really great. I can tell you about that. I can't really show you it working. I suppose I could do. I could break a few. Break a few. There you go. So what happens? A minecart runs around at the bottom, or runs around up the side, activating these pistons, which push the ice back into the cube. And obviously, with this being open to sky, these freeze and it pushes it anyway. It's a bog standard basic design. It's brilliant. It works a treat. I've got ice for days. Now I need to remember how to get back in. Oh, here it is. Here it is. I've not been on it forever. This is a piston elevator, a translocating piston elevator, which pulled you through a piston, which worked again back in the day, but it no longer works. It's now broken, which is a problem. You used to be able to pick which floor you wanted to go to as well, and at the moment there's only 2 floors. There's the farm floor, which I think is that one, and then there's a top floor, which is that one, and you stand on that, the piston would come down and suck you through the pistons. It worked a treat, but obviously now it's broken. So this is a main entrance to my base. We've just been up here, I know we have. And this is my pumpkin and this is my pumpkin and melon farm. When I run outside and don't have anything in my hand. Come on, fella, you boys have really good shots now. Okay. Pumpkin and melon farm. It's my old design that uses a daylight sensor in there, so it works in a fashion, but it's nowhere near as efficient as a new design, and it doesn't work overnight. So that's got to be pulled down and changed. And there's my farmer. Take my bow out of my hand before I shoot him. So he's got a decent pumpkin and melon trade, so he sits there all the time. Bit of artwork. This is my furnace array. I'm not going to call it an industrial furnace array because there's only, 6 furnaces in it. But it was the very first thing I built when I dug down here. When I first dug down this hole into here, this was the first thing I made. So I'm quite pleased with it. It uses mine carts. You can turn it on and off. Works. It's great. My sugarcane farm. This works on a timer. It doesn't use observers because, again, back in the day, observers didn't exist. So this is something that's got to be updated. But that works on a daylight sensor outside. So once a day, it fires, and my sugarcane, and I still find it hard to say that word, comes into there. Bit of a relaxation area. I like relaxation areas. This was my infinite villager breeder. And all the villagers ran around in here. The farmers fed each other. The villagers fell down there. Or the babies did. And it's turned on and off by that villager at the top. Now, I've learnt a load since I built this. And this is obsolete now. It doesn't work as anywhere near as well as it should do. It's far too big. It allows babies to be fed. It's obsolete. So I need to do something with that. Again, a job for later on. Now, if we go down here, we've got my aquarium. So we've got the aquarium there with the 4 guardians in it. Behind the back of that and above me, all the way up there, is a big dark room mob spawner. So mobs spawn on the floor up there. It is quite a big area. And there's a timer, a hopper timer, which turns on some dispensers at that end, which flush the mobs, they're full of water, which flush the mobs off. And the mobs fall down the back of there. They land on the magma blocks, and they die. And I thought I'd put it behind the aquarium because it looks half decent. I like it. Looks okay. We've got a really old fish farm which doesn't work now. That used to work by standing underneath and firing your rod or casting your rod upwards onto a tripwire. That's been broken. That was broken by update, so that needs to be fixed. Down here, we have the thing. This was the second thing I built on the server. This was my skelly grinder and enchanting room. So obviously the skellies spawn in there. They fall into the hole after a little dance, and then they come up here. Hello, fellas. And then they fall down here with only 1 heart, and I whack them and kill them and enchant my stuff there. Should have some lapis in there. I don't. Anywho. And all of their lovely drops come into here. Bit of artwork, a few trees. Very nice. Which way now? We'll go this way. So this is my dye factory. Which and all of my dye stories, this pretty much makes, apart from white and black, this pretty much makes every colour you're going to need. There's squid ink and there's bone meal that you can't get from here, and lapis, which you can't get from here, and cactus, which you can't get from here. So here's me saying it pretty much makes every colour you need. It doesn't. It makes lots of them. It doesn't make all of them. But it's brilliant. You press a button. Oh, wrong button. and the roses come out, you stick them in the crafting table, bada bing, you've got red dye, or whatever colour dye you want. So, because I've got the skelly grinder, I'm never short of a few bones. This leads us round to the what is it? Slime farm. The slime farm. Again, an old slime farm. All the slimes fall off the platform, go round in a loop, and they end up in a killing chamber, a drowning chamber over there in the corner. And all of their lovely drops come up here in this silo. And there are chests behind there, and these lights indicate how full the silo is. This is my chorus plant farm, which serves a purpose. It's okay. I'm never going to be flush with chorus fruit, but it does a job. It works. It's fine. This is my mushroom farm, or my giant mushroom farm. So I plant mushrooms on there. I bone meal them until they grow, and then I chop them down. It's not automatic, but it does a job. And there's a bit of art on the walls as well. Now this is my firework maker, and I was really pleased with this when I made it. Basically, you press a button, it fires out all the ingredients you need to make a firework. Now, if I'm being honest, I've forgotten how to make a firework. So I'm going to have to play with it before I do anything with it. What is it? Firework charges. Oh no, they're rockets. I don't want a rocket. Let's get some colour in there. And one of them. Some of that. Is that a charge? Yeah, lime. That's a charge. And then put the charge in there. Put the paper in there. Put the gunpowder in there. Is this right? Yeah. I think it is. Oh, it's only oh, I needed to lay that out, didn't I? But anyway, you've got a random selection of fireworks. And as I say, when you don't have your inventory full, you can press that and a different random assortment comes out. So if you wanted to make a bit of a firework display, then you can do. You've got your firework maker. This was my old record factory. At the top, there's a flush floor that flushes just creepers and skellies at the time, because back in the day, skeletons were shorter than zombies. So if you put trapdoors along the top of the spawning floor, only creepers and skeletons would spawn up there. And then using the piston translocation, which I'll show you because it was quite interesting at the time, in case you've never seen it. Using piston translocation, that piston would push the skellies that way, and that piston would push the creepers that way, and it would split them up. But obviously that doesn't work now. So this is redundant. And the skellies would fall down here, the creepers would fall down here, skellies would fall down there. I just stick my head around the corner, skellies shoot the creepers. I would get the records, but fortunately I've got them all anyway. So that's just there as a reminder of the good old days. Brilliant. So we've seen that, we've seen that, we've seen that, seen that. This is just my overflow chest or my storage chest for all of my mob drops. And these are all of my mob drops. Brilliant. So if we go this way, we've got my main storage area. You walk in and it all lights up. It's all on half slabs as well, so nothing can spawn in here, so it doesn't matter about it being dark. It's very tiny, it's not automated, it's just bring stuff in, lob it in and then go. I've got no shulkers because I haven't, and I really ought to get around to doing that. Maybe that's one of my jobs. Well, it is definitely one of my jobs. So that's my storage area, that's my enchanting room. Again, one of the first things I built on here. We've got my clock, which tells me the time. Because I'm in a cave, because I'm underground, it's difficult for me to know what time it is outside. So I built this clock, which is brilliant. I mean, we're coming up to dusk outside now. The centre light is lit, so I know it's in the afternoon. And the outside light is working its way back down again. Once it gets down to about there, it's dark. So at the moment, it's very nearly dark. And just to prove a point, this is probably going to smack me in the face. Just to prove a point. Where's the sun? I can't even see the sun. Anyway, it's getting dark. The sun's over there somewhere. That Clockworks Retreat. There's a tutorial for that on my channel if you want to have a look at it. I love it. I was dead pleased with it. Oh, and that's my armour equipper. You throw your armour in there. You just run onto it, and it automatically equips your armour. Dead clever. Happy with that. So this is where the golems from the iron farm fall down. They'll fall all the way down there. They'll land in there, burning. It's timed just long enough so the golems die from burning damage. That the lava that's coming down there is thick enough to cause the golems to die. But they put on a bit of a show because they stand there dancing while they're on fire. Very morbid, but it works nevertheless. This was my overflow for the pumpkin and melons. It's not automated, or is it automated? It's not, I don't know now. Don't know, but anyway, pumpkins and melons. This is my really bog standard cactus farm, where you break the cactus and then just replant them. Very, very bog standard, but it works. And we've been down there, so you've seen that. Now, up here, we've got a couple of things I'm working on. I've got to go over that way. But this way is my stables. So I've got myself 3 horses and a skelly horse in there. And basically, you walk in, you jump on your horse. The tripwire there forces a monostable circuit to lower that bale and turn the light out. And then you run off. At the moment, you have to run down there and up my stairs, which is not brilliant. I don't have a better way to get them out. But when you finish, you come back and you run into the stable again, which activates the monostable circuit and forces up that block, which keeps them in the stable. So that's my stables for my horses. I think that's brilliant. We're about halfway through now, so not to worry. We're getting close. Right, before we go through the nether hub, I just want to show you the farming floor, and there's no good way of getting up there at the moment because my elevator's not working, my lift isn't working, so I've had to stick in these ladders, which is not great, but it does a job. It gets us up there. So here we've got just a door leading to the outside. There's nothing out there, it just leads to the outside. And then we've got a chicken farm here, which is broken. That's supposed to fire out. I need to rework the back end of it. This is a very old version of the chicken farm I made. It's not the new one, so I need to fix that one. But it works. We've got loads of chicken. That was just a bit of artwork. This is where all of my wheat is stored. And that's the guy doing all the farming. He's a farmer. He's carried on. He's still working. He uses the fill the inventory full of seeds trick that we've been using for ages. And that works a treat. And he's still working. There's my cow farm, which seems to work perfectly well. You feed the guys. They go up the back. I do love the way this works, though. And I'd love to show you. And I'll show you how it works. So let me grab some wheat. I'm sure you've seen this before, but you press the button. I couldn't remember where the buttons were. Press the button. You feed these fellas. Like that. I don't know how many are in there. 20 or so are in there. And then the baby cows go up the back. Brilliant. And they fall down into there. Anyway, I've been using the design for ages. Works a treat. And over here we've got our automatic bread maker. Now that guy there, one of them, I can't remember which one's which, but one of them, I think it's him, he gets wheat thrown down to him. And then he makes it into bread and he tries to throw it to that guy. And the bread falls down into the chests. Now I think it's broken. I think I've identified a problem with it. Where this guy actually gets fed when he shouldn't. There's no way he should be able to get fed, but he does. But hey-ho, I've still got some bread if I need it. So this is my farming floor. Let me turn that off. So now we'll get back down. Now this is my portal room. We've got Mike and Ike. Who are you? You're Ike. Ike and Mike. It was good fun catching those guys, I'll tell you. That was brilliant. So, yeah, won't have to do that again. This leads us through to the nether, the nether hub, which we'll go and have a look at in a second. So that's my nether portal room. Now, down here, we have the potion room, which is a fully automatic potion room, which stops brewing when the chests are full or when they've run out of ingredients. This one's obviously out of an ingredient. There you go, it's out of glistening melon. I don't have all of the potions because I don't see the point of having all of the potions. So I've got I've got fire resistance. I've got, is that strength? I don't know why I've even got that. Oh, healing. Healing. Don't know my potions. I've got my night vision, got my water breathing, and then I've got this one here, which is just manual, which turns into a splash potion if I want to, but generally I don't want to. These were my first villager farms. This was my first attempt at an automatic villager farm, which worked brilliant to start with. You throw him in there with only a few carrots, and he plants them and you flush them to the front, then he plants them, then you flush them to the front, then he plants them, then he flushes them to the front. But eventually his inventory gets filled up and he just loses interest and stops farming. And I didn't know that when I first built this. Obviously I know that now, so we'll have to update that to a new version. This is this, I've called it a tree farm, but really it's just a big area full of trees. Which serves a purpose. I can grow all the trees in here except the dark oak. So I don't grow dark oak in there. Beetroot farm, same reason, worked brilliantly for a while and then stopped working. But we know why that stopped working, because he's filled himself up with seeds. A bit of an art. Have I missed anything down here? Oh, that's the intake for the water bottles. I'd come up here and you know how to do it. You fill up the inventory with stuff, and you put empty water bottles in your hand. You right click on the water and it throws the water bottles into the system, and they whiz around the top. They whiz around on a water chute around the top on ice, and eventually get sucked into the potion brewing rooms. And down here was the last project I was working on before we ended the last series. This is my Wild West village, which I'm really looking forward to getting stuck into again. Currently I've just got my jail down there, and which should have a couple of husks in it, a couple of bad guys. I think with Butch and Sundance we called them. And then over there we've got the saloon. I wonder if I could I might reskin one of the villagers so it looks like one of those dancing girls. That is a good idea, Frills. I like that. That just leads through to the dive section of the farm. I did have a see-through spider in here because I got all excited. I caught an invisible spider and I thought they were just the best things ever. Never seen one before. They're far more common than I thought at the time. And anyway, he's despawned, so he's gone. Anyway, so let's get back and go through the Nether Hub. I've just got a few things to show you now, and then we'll be bang up to date. So I'll meet you through in the Nether Hub. So this is my Nether Hub, which again was one of the first things I built. I built this in 1.7 and then updated to 1.8, and it completely regenerated the Nether. So I was over at my Guardian farm, which is miles over there, and logged back on again in 1.8, and all of this had gone. All of my tunnels had gone. Everything in the Nether had been reset. So I tell you, it was fun getting back over from there, because I didn't have voxel maps at the time, so I didn't know where my spawn was. It was a nightmare. Anyway, I managed to make it back. Right, so there's nothing through there at the moment. There's nothing through there at the moment. That's back to the base. This is how to get to the Guardian farm. So we'll have a look at the Guardian farm now. Why haven't I got a boat? So this leads down to my Guardian farm, which is it's a mess. I know it's a mess. I need to sort it out. Another job on the list. In fairness, I've got loads more to do on here than I actually thought I had. So this was my attempt at the my original Guardian farm. These are where the drops go. These are automated. Got a basic sorting system at the back. Can we see it? There you go. Very basic. You've all seen one of those before. And this is just overflow for when I've made the blocks. And the Guardians fall down here and die. Now, I've put a couple of switches on here. The first one, that one turns off the lava. When I wanted to catch the Guardians, I needed a way of them not dying. So if you press that button there, it activates a monostable circuit, and it turns on it turns off the lava. A couple of dispensers up there turn off the lava, and the guardians fall down there and don't die, which is brilliant. And this one actually turns on and off that nether portal, which I could probably show you really. So that one turns it on. Flint and steel at the back in that dispenser activates the nether portal. Press it again and it dispenses lava, and it turns off the nether portal, which I think is brilliant. I was really pleased with that. So that allowed me to get a couple of guardians into the nether for me to get back to the base. Okay, the second to last thing I just wanted to show you that we've got. This is not very exciting. And it was back in the day when we didn't have concrete. So everything, if you wanted a bit of colour in your world, you needed to build it using clay. So this was my Mesa biome. And I think there's a villager. Yeah, there's a village over there where I got a couple of villagers from to start with. Very basic Mesa biome, which is all nice. And the final biome that I want to show you. So this is where I come to get all my sand and my sandstone, and this is a little village where again I had away with some villagers from. I tried to leave some there, just in case, you never know, and they're miles away, and while I'm not here there are no zombies. So that is a world tour. So there you go, you're bang up to date. We do have a nether fortress, which is not too far away from the spawn area, but I've got nothing in it. I've built no farms there yet. I've leveled off a bit of ground in order to get some wither skeletons to spawn, but it is very basic. That's another big job for us to do. But at the moment, as I say, you're bang up to date. So I hope you've enjoyed the world tour, everybody. If you have, please don't forget to leave it a like. And if you've really loved it, don't forget to subscribe for future videos. This is Frilioth, back in the Frill Cave, and I'm out of here.